icy and cold night in Mascoutah, Illinois, we say hello and we welcome you to the MHS Gymnasium and tonight's broadcast of MHS basketball as the Indians take on the Madison Trojans. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Owen Wrestler with you tonight alongside, well, I guess I'll know where I'm going with that. Owen Wrestler with you tonight, solo here with you as the Indians and the Trojans get ready to do battle as the Indians return home. Their first game at home, coming off the holiday break, a break in what saw them have a break that saw them go 3-1 at the Modern Day tournament. And then they played last Saturday night in a road loss to Centralia. We were supposed to have a mega night last Friday night, but the icy conditions, snowy icy conditions that we have been dealing with in the area, I'm sure many people around are aware of, kept that game from being played, but we are ready to go. First game back at home for the Indians after the holiday break, and the Indians have only played two home games this year, and they are 1-1 in those games. They lost to Highland all the way back on December 6th. They then beat O'Fallon on December 17th, and since then they have played in Jerseyville, in Troy at Triad. They played the Modern Day tournament, and they have played at Centralia. So in just two home games, a 1-1 record for the Indians, and kind of hard to believe it's January 14th and this team has only played two home games. This will be their third. They do have 5 more remaining. They only play 8 home games this year. So 5 more home games remaining, and those 5 games will still be played, but they do have more games to be played. But only the third home game of the year here for the Indians tonight as the Tribe get set to go. Coming in, as I mentioned, off a loss on Saturday night in Centralia. They fell to the Orphans 59-48, an 11-point loss to Centralia, a game in which they just did not play their best game, and you lose by double digits, you know you didn't play all that great. They certainly did not. Coach Cole Shoemaker would love to see his team have a bounce-back performance tonight. I would love to see this team get the victory against Madison. Madison is a team that just has really struggled so far. They're 2-8. I don't have any stats on them. I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any stats on them, but they're 2-8. I did find that much, and after watch the JV game, the Indians took them down in the JV game, but so it will be a battle tonight. Hopefully the Indians will be able to pick up a victory. We'll take a break. We'll talk a little bit more about the Indians in just a moment.
New to Mascoutah but open since 1972, Joe's Pizza has plenty to offer. No matter what you're in the mood for, Joe's Pizza has a variety of options for you. Check out their handmade pizzas, pastas, subs, salads, and wings located at 215 East Main in Mascoutah. Along with their delicious food, Joe's has friendly workers, a clean and safe environment, and fast and efficient service. Don't just take our word for it, look at many reviews left by members of our own community. Available for delivery or carryout. Joe's Pizza, where every bite feels like home.
do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We are having a couple technical difficulties. Hopefully we should be able to keep our camera up and running. Still working on that right now. But we're hoping that everything should be able to get back underway. We apologize. I realize the thing is frozen right now. As we get things going, I'll try to hopefully revise those issues as we go along. So as long as everything keeps going, oh, there we go. Coming up just under 5 minutes to go until we tip this one off. The Indians coming in. Again, as I mentioned, a record of 9-5 prior to this game. 9-5, coming off that loss to Centralia. And the Indians, well, this isn't a conference game. Conference, of course, the Indians come into this game at 2-2 in conference play. They're 9-5. They trail Waterloo and Triad, who are 14-3 and 13-5. That is a partly due to the fact that Waterloo and Triad, they've played more games. They've also played more conference games, but again, I don't believe that Waterloo and Triad had their conference games canceled last Friday night. I'm not sure if they did or not, but they do have 5 conference games in their slate. Civic Memorial is right on the heels of the Indians at 9-6 on the year. Highland 9-9. They're 4-1 though in conference play, and Jerseyville hasn't won a conference game, and they are 5-12 this year. So certainly Jersey, the last place in the conference. But the Indians tonight, not a conference game, just another good old Tuesday night matchup as the Indians and the Trojans of Madison get ready to do battle. The Indians back on the floor with about 3 minutes or so until this one tips off tonight here in Mascoutah. Coming into this game, the Indians come into tonight led the way, of course, Jaden McCoo. We can't talk about the Indians without talking about Jaden McCoo. Leads this team in points. He's put up 259 points this year. Put up 259 points. Averaging 18.5 a game. He's followed in that regard. Stephen Hollins, the 5'9" senior, putting up 13.3. Stephen Hollins, by the way, shooting 43% from behind the three-point arc. He has been lights out from 3 this year. Looking to see a little bit more of that tonight. Corey Harris, 12.1 points per game, 3rd on the team in scoring. Those 3 have been the heart and soul of the offense for this Cole Shoemaker team that has really been a very good offensive team. They have yet, their lowest scoring game has been a 39-point loss to Waterloo on the 13th of December. They have not scored fewer than 47 points, though, however, in a win. They have the offense, when the offense has been on, it has been on. Their fewest points in a win, 47. That was against Triad last week, or a couple of weeks ago, just before Christmas on the 23rd of December. We're just about ready to go. Tip-off. It's the Indians and the Trojans of Madison. Tip-off is just around the corner. This is the Indian Sports Network, presented by New Energy Fitness.
You don't need to compromise to lift for a great price. Just go to the gym. New Energy Fitness is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Work privately or sign up for one of the many available classes. So swipe your membership card and head right on in. And with an amazing atmosphere and community, you'll feel right at home. So for great prices, equipment, and everything else, head to 602 West Main Street. Apply now at newenergyfit.com or call 618-448-0331.
It is time for Indian basketball as we welcome you back to Mascoutah High School for the Indians and the Trojans. Trojans visiting from Madison tonight. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. The Trojans tonight will trot out there Terrian Wilborn, number 0, Dallas Gardner, Jamarian Skinner, Ladarius Hamill, and Alex Kennedy. And the Indian starters here tonight. It'll be Stephen Hollins, mentioned him, Corey Harris, Jaden McCoo, Jarrell Crumble, and Matthew Smith. So it is pretty typical lineup for the Tribe tonight as the Indians and the Trojans get set to do battle. Just about ready to go. Pretty decent sized crowd considering this game was literally added to the schedule last night. Yeah, and that's right. Last night this game was added to the schedule. And a pretty good crowd has come out tonight. There was supposed to be a game. It was supposed to be against SIUE Charter. That game was moved, canceled. And so Indians Athletic Director Scott Battis did some quick booking and was able to find an opponent for the Indians to play tonight. He found the Trojans of Madison. They come in again, as I mentioned, 2-8. They are coached by Philip Gilbert. And of course, Cole Shoemaker's squad is ready and raring to go. They're looking to get back to winning ways. Glad to be back at home for only the third time this year. First time in 2025, as I would be remiss if, since this is our first broadcast for you in the new year. Happy New Year to everybody tuning in tonight. So it's the Indians and the Trojans. We are set to go. Matthew Smith wins the opening tip, and Jada McCoo takes it right away to the basket. And we are underway. The Indians strike first with a very well-designed opening play. Now we're going to get a whistle blown here, and looks like we had a Trojan caught too long in the paint. The 3-second violation, so 17 seconds in, and the Indians have a score, and they have already gotten the ball back. Baseball pass here to Stephen Hollins from Jada McCoo, and Hollins misses the three. Offensive rebound there, Matthew Smith. He gets a jump ball trying to go back up, and that will go back to Madison. So we're 29 seconds in, and we've seen the clock stop twice now. Up the floor with the basketball comes Terrion Wilburn. Wilburn dribbling over to that right elbow. As I mentioned earlier, don't have any stats on this Trojans team, just a basic roster with height, name, and class. Out to the senior Jamarian Skinner. Skinner gets a screen, rolls up, step back three at the elbow. That's off the glass, doesn't go down. And McCoo gonna bring it back from right to left. Sends it to the corner for Hollins. Goes for another three, misses that one. And a rebound for Skinner. Skinner ahead, Wilburn. Wilburn into the paint, lost it, but able to kick it back out. Here's Dallas Gardner, who buries the three-pointer. And the Trojans take the lead, 3-2, 6:40 to go in the first. Indians not exactly playing with their fast pace that Indians fans might usually be accustomed to playing with, playing a little slower than normal. As McCoo gonna bring it out into the backcourt, gives it over to Harris. Harris bounce pass now back to him. This looks like a zone defense here from the Trojans as Smith misses on the layup, going up and under down low. And then gets called for a foul as everyone tries to go back the other way. So first foul on Smith. Trojans will bring it up the floor, moving left to right. It's Wilburn going over to the far side. Kicks it now top of the key. There's Skinner. Skinner on the right wing. Dribbles inside. Tries to pass it off. It gets tipped to Wilburn. Wilburn trying to step back. Now throws it away. Indians get it back, trailing by 1, 3-2 the score, 5:47 to go. We're just underway in the first. Glad you're with us here tonight. Jarrell Crumble going to inbound the basketball. And here comes Harris, who'll get it to McCoo. Mentioned leading this team, 18.5 points. Now gets to Harris. Harris goes over. Hollins from the corner, third three-point try, and this one he hits. Stephen Hollins gives the Indians back a two-point lead with 5:23 to go and counting in the first. Dribbling through traffic, Dallas Gardner. Pulling it back to the logo, now gives it over to Jamarian Skinner. 5'11" senior, gonna try and dribble to the top of the key, pulls it back out just a bit. At the logo, Wilburn drives. Pulls it, pulls up, dishes to the corner. Three-point ball off the iron, no good from Ladarius Hamill. Dallas Gardner passes across. Gardner to Skinner. Skinner gonna go for the drive, tries to reverse, doesn't go. McCoo able to find the layup. Dishes over to Hollins. Hollins to the block, floats one up there, no good. Ball is loose into the corner, and stepping out of bounds, trying to make the save is Alex Kennedy. .439 to play in the first. Out to McCoo. McCoo gonna swing it across Hollins with a pump fake. Back over to McCoo, over to Crumble. Crumble dishes it back to McCoo. The Indians playing with a wide defense with a lot of movement on the floor. Up by 2 with 4:24 to play. Harris over to Crumble. Now into the corner, Matthew Smith trying to go in on the drive. Floats one and puts it up and in on the little floater on the baseline drive. Indians with a 4-point lead, 7-3. Here's Skinner. Head fake, now back over and across. They give it. Trying to drive is Wilburn. Puts up a jumper. Got it. McCoo down to the other end after the pass. Gets it. Harris. Crumble. Fakes one way and then is called for the walk. And we'll have a sub coming in for the Indians. That is Madison. Who will come in to replace Crumble. So Fern in to replace Crumble. Wilburn going to bring it up the floor here for the Trojans. In a 7-5 game. 3:37 to play. 3 ball coming off the pass. No good from Gardner. And a miss. The rebound belonging to Corey Harris. Here's Matthew Smith. Dishes it over to McCoo. McCoo going to go for his first 3 of the night and bangs it home from the left wing. And the Indians by 5. 3:17 to play, first quarter. Here's Skinner. Gonna give it across for Wilburn. He's been the offensive point guard tonight. Gonna throw up a contested shot, doesn't want to go. McCoo trying to go coast to coast off the rebound, and he does. Jaden McCoo coast to coast, and the Indians up 7. 2:53 to play. Back and forth. Bit of a scramble for it as Fern tried to take it away, but now Trojans keep possession as it's Gardner. Gardner on the wing, spins around, now passes back for Skinner at the top. Skinner gonna go right wing, takes it back a 3 deep, back iron no. Ball gets knocked loose after it was touched by Kennedy. And it is Gardner who gives it over to Wilburn. Wilburn takes it, drives, throws it up, no, off the left side of the iron, kicks it out. Now they get it, Skinner coming inside, throws one up. That one doesn't want to go. Matthew Smith able to pull up with a rebound. McCoo gets it over to Hollins, finds Fern underneath the basket, baseline goes out, back McCoo. McCoo trying to drive in, back out Hollins. Hollins drives, pulls up to the corner for Fern, head fake 3, baseline couple of dribbles. Now finds Smith on the outside, over to Harris. Harris, 3 ball, got it! Beautiful execution by the Indians, and the Trojans are going to take a timeout with 1:45 to play. Full timeout here for the Trojans, a 10-point lead for the Indians. We'll step aside. This is the Indian Sports Network.
Need a morning cup of joe? Feeling tired after work and need an afternoon pick-me-up? Scoot on around to Scooter's Coffee to satisfy your caffeine needs. Scooter's Coffee, located across the street from Mascoutah High School, is serving up hot, fresh coffee, cold, refreshing drinks, and a variety of foods such as breakfast burritos and muffins. Scooter's is open Monday to Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on the weekends from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Scoot on around today.
Indians ahead by 10, 15-5 first quarter. 1:45 to play in the opening quarter of this game. The Trojans and the Indians the Indians did have, the Trojans did lead at one point. And the Trojans a bit slow to get off out of the huddle. And a ref over there having a conversation. Indians keeping their same 5 out there. Trojans haven't made a substitution. And they will start with the ball coming out of the timeout. It's Gardner. And the ball comes loose. Madison got in there, and ref's trying to settle something out. It is a jump ball. It'll be the Indians' ball, with possession belonging to the Indians with the arrow. So the Indians have it back. Corey Harris gonna bring it up speed. The Indians pick up speed a little bit. They go in, and they find McCoo wide open underneath. Able to just easily put one in there. And now we're going to get a foul. The Indians, Jarrell Crumble will take that foul. As Skinner was trying to drive, Skinner will throw it in. Darius Williams is checked into the game for the Trojans. Gardner Skinner now going to give it over to Williams. Williams taking it, trying to drive, and it goes up over the backboard and out of bounds. And the Indians have it, 59.1 to play, leading by 12-17-5. Indians offense looks as good as normal. Harris gonna bring it up over on the left side of the floor. Gets it to McCoo, back Harris. Harris going to drive, throws one up. Not gonna go, he fell to the floor. Clean defense there by the Trojans and Skinner. Gardner gonna get it, back to Skinner. Between the circles, Skinner goes over, gives it up for Williams. Williams spinning into the paint, now pulls up to the line, kicks it to the corner, 3-ball no good for Hamill. Back to the floor, they give it over to Hollins for McCoo. Hollins 3 off, doesn't go, but McCoo's there to get the rebound. It was tipped up a couple of times, and now McCoo with a step back 3 is short, and it goes back the other way, left to right move the Trojans. First quarter comes to an end, and that will be that. So the end of the first, the Trojans and the Indians lead 17-5. This is the Indian Sports Network. Indians on top by 12. Indians ahead 17-5 as we get you ready for the start of the second here on the Indian Sports Network. Glad to have you aboard here as the Tribe takes on the Trojans. So the second set of 8 minutes, here we go. It is Trojan Bull. As up the floor comes Jamarian Skinner, gets it in for Kennedy, who is fouled. That is Fern called for the foul. That's his second. Of the game. So here comes Williams. Now gets it back for Skinner, who throws up a 3 from the right wing, and he drills that one. Indians come back offense. Four men spread wide. Holland's gonna go to the left, now gets it to Harris. Harris moving over to the right side. Harris kicks it left side for Hollins. Now over to Smith. Indians trying to move around. Madison, top of the key, back out Smith. Smith pump fake 3, trying to drive, goes Euro, step, doesn't get it, and then goes down hard. Hit the back of his head hard on the wood going down. And they might not want him to stay in this game. Corey Hillian, Cole Shoemaker are over there. It looks like Jarrell Crumble's going to come in this game for the time being. Smith, it looks like, is going to go to the training room, get evaluated by Lori Hullian, the trainer. He's walking by himself, but you could hear him hit his head from up here. .6:58 to play, second quarter. Trojans have possession of the basketball. Kennedy Williams gives it over to Skinner. Skinner into the lane, going to go with the reverse. Doesn't get it. Put back on the offensive glass, Shane Bennett. And Mattis Fern called for another foul, his third already of the game. This one will be a shooting foul, and it'll be Shane Bennett, the 6'5" junior, who will shoot two and make the first. And a sub gonna come in here for the Trojans. We'll see Demarion Brown check in. Second free throw doesn't go. Good job there, Jaden McCoo, to get the offensive rebound. He'll try and take it all the way. Jaden McCoo gets the rebound and goes coast to coast for the 10-point Mascoutah advantage. Demarion Brown back just into the game for the Trojans. Coming up with the basketball, finds Darius Williams up wing. Williams trying to take it into the paint, doesn't get it. McCoo able to get the rebound again. He'll send the outlet pass ahead for Stephen Hollins, and Hollins will get called for a charging foul. Trying to go down the lane, so Indians coming right back. Here's a three ball coming after the Trojans missed by Darius Williams, and now here comes the Indians, and it's Crumble who's able to put it in for the bucket, and the Indians' lead keeps getting bigger. 21-9, 5:55 to play. Williams drives, throws up the jumper, doesn't get it, and we're going to get a foul called in the paint. That'll be on Williams. McCoo up the floor. He's going to go middle, now looks over to the right side. McCoo looks inside Crumble, kicks it out Hollins. Hollins swings it across for McCoo. McCoo from three, and he airballed it. So it'll be a stoppage of the clock. 5.5 to go in the second. And here comes Madison. 5:26 to play. Second quarter. Jamarian Skinner kicks it back out for Demarion Brown. Brown looking across Skinner. Goes around the world, just trying to find somewhere to go. Now tries to drive, steps it, pulls it back. Williams swings it across for Brown. Brown looking to drive, now back over to Skinner. Skinner gets possession of the ball, keeps it, and he gets clumped up by Carlo Garcia, who just checked in. And now this pass stolen away by McCoo, who goes up and wrecks the rim for a big old dunk, and the Indians' lead gets bigger. Indians playing great defensively. McCoo having a night, 13 points in the first 23. We're going to get a foul called. It'll stay with the Trojans. Called that foul on Garcia, Carlo Garcia. Indians have 3 fouls in the second quarter, and there's still 4:25 to go. Here's a three from Skinner. He falls to the ground. It doesn't go. No foul was called. McCoo gets the rebound. And again, Jaden McCoo, for the third time in the game, goes coast to coast on a rebound. He's got 15 of the 25, first 25 for the Indians. Back over and across for Demarion Skinner. Skinner goes right. Now looks inside, and we're gonna have a timeout taken. No, never mind. Foul called. That was a foul on Stephen Hollins. Coming out, and this pass thrown into the hands of Jaden McCoo. McCoo gonna go up, gets fouled, and McCoo will most likely go to the line on the foul, I believe, on Darius Williams. So Jaden McCoo, who is a 76% free throw shooter this year, will hit the line. And connect on the first one. 16 for McCoo, who has been just so good. He really has improved in the free throw shooting so far this year. Start of the year right around 50%, but that number has just continued to go up as he connects on both of those here in this second quarter. Double team in the corner. Now the Trojans get it over the timeline. And now the ball stripped away by Hollins. 3-on-2 the other way. Hollins with a jumper. No go. And the rebound, Shane Bennett. Demarion Brown up the other way for the Trojans. Brown into the backcourt. Now trying to go. And a charging foul as he knocks down Jarrell Crumble. And that foul on Ladarius Hamlin. 4 fouls apiece. Next foul for both sides will be 2 free throws. McCoo looks back, gives it over. Now it's Hollins. Hollins, long pass to McCoo on the left side. Gets it into Crumble. Gets Garcia inside. Back out for McCoo. McCoo going to go to Hollins on the far side, going cross court. Harris to McCoo. McCoo looks back Harris. Harris from downtown didn't have an angle. Now it's going to take the 16-footer. Offensive rebound for Colo Garcia, and Garcia gets a bucket. And the Indians have a 20-point lead with 2.5 to play. Indians putting some pressure on the Trojans. Pressure coming, and a foul is called. They'll put that on Crumble. And a bonus here for Madison. So the free throws are Demarion Brown, who misses the first one back of the iron. Alex Kennedy will check into the game. Terrion Wilburn, and for the Trojans, TJ Perkins will check into the game for the Indians. Terrion Wilburn is going to check in for Brown as soon as Brown takes this free throw, which is good. .220 to play in the second. Garcia out to Harris from between the circles. Now to Perkins. Perkins reverses it back. They look inside Garcia. Garcia nowhere to go. They go out downtown. Harris, three-pointer. Bounces around and falls. The Indians lead is 22 with 1:55 to play. We're in the second quarter. utter domination. This ball thrown away by Skinner. And now back come the Indians. McCoo looking to drive. Has it out beyond the arc on the right side. Now drives and lost the handle. But they're going to say that a Madison player tipped it. We'll get a sub here as McCoo's going to come out for Stephen Hollins, who had checked out of the game temporarily. Carlo Garcia gets the inbound pass but misses on the layup. And now back the other way, Demarion Skinner comes up, three-pointer from downtown. He connects there. And as we're approaching a minute to play here in the first half, the Indians lead is 19. Garcia has it for the Indians, kicks it out Harris. Harris over to Hollins. Hollins will take the three. He'll connect. And the Indians have put up 35. 59 seconds to go. Timeout taken. And the Indians will take a 30-second timeout. 59 seconds to play. One thing I didn't mention in the open is that just prior, Jaden McCoo, I didn't mention this earlier, but we haven't had a broadcast since this game happened, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it at the end of our Triad broadcast back before Christmas, but in that Triad game, Jaden McCoo hit his 1,000th career point here at MHS, so congratulations to him. A 3-year starter. On this Indians team. Up the floor comes Skinner for the Trojans. Under a minute to go. Skinner sends it over for Terrion Wilburn. Wilburn looking to drive. Kicks it back out for Shane Bennett. And Bennett with a shot off the glass. McCoo with a rebound. Outlets it down to Harris. Harris cuts up and through. No good, but he gets the foul to no go to the line for two. I believe they're saying the foul is on Skinner. Harris misses the first free throw, an 68% free throw shooter, a number I'm sure Cole Shoemaker would like to be a bit higher, but still serviceable at the high school level. Goes 0 for 2, both of them short. Good job there by Harris to get him in the way of a head fake three. Skinner dribbling, still trying to find somewhere to go. Now finds some separation into the paint and throws up a floater that goes down. 35-15 with 15 seconds to play in the second quarter. Hollins dishes it over to McCoo. McCoo just looking to end out this first half with a 20-point lead. He's going to take it to the basket, throw up the jumper, doesn't go. And that will end half number one. The Indians will take a 20-point lead to the locker room. On the Indian Sports Network, we're glad you're with us. Halftime in Mascoutah, we thank you for joining us, as you can enjoy the sights and sounds of, and we hope that you will stick around. The Indians lead by 20 at halftime. second half just about ready to get underway as we welcome you back to Mascoutah High School. The Indians with a 20-point lead. Glad you're with us here on the Indian Sports Network. Indians and Trojans getting set to get underway. Here for the start of the second half. A 20-point lead for the Indians. The Indians are looking to maybe come up with another win. There'll be their second win on their home floor. They hold possession arrow. They will get the ball first, and a 20-point lead. And also, by the way, Matthew Smith is back and into the game after hitting his head on the floor in the first half. So apparently the training staff of the Indians feels that he is good to go. No real concussion symptoms. I didn't know if they would let him go or not, but they are letting him go. 20-point lead. And so we are ready to go. Indians come out. First possession of the game, they try to find Smith early, and the pass is off the mark. Up the floor comes Terrian Wilburn to the Trojans. Gets it over to Jamarian Skinner, who's going to spin around after a drive. Back out for Dallas Gardner. Gardner over to Wilburn. Wilburn head fakes on a three. Now looks over to Gardner, and we have a foul. It's going to go back the other way. We're going to say that Alex Kennedy got a bit shovey inside the paint. And so Indians basketball, Corey Harris will bring it up the floor. Indians, while putting up 35 in the first half, didn't play with the same level of speed that they had played with most of the year. McCoo over to Harris. Harris, Smith in the corner, going to go up. And Matthew Smith, after hitting his head in the first half, is going to go up and pick up two right away. He's got 4 of the night. Wilburn gets it out for Gardner, who misses on a 3. Harris gets the rebound, goes to Hollins. Hollins goes up and in. And the Indians start out the second half on a 4-0 run. Wilburn going to come up the floor for the Trojans. Trying to roll around off a screen. He kicks it over to Ladarius Hamill, who banks one in off the window for 3. And the Trojans get their first buckets of the second half. Harris kicks in, dishes it over to Hollins. Hollins looks over. Harris to McCoo in the corner. McCoo kicks it back out for Harris. Harris looking to drive. Bounces over to Hollins. Hollins has it, right wing. Dribbles to the corner for Harris. Harris to Smith, right corner. Faking all over the place. Now finally gives it across. They'll swing it back to McCoo to the corner for Darrell Crumble. Baseline drive. Baseline in. And Darrell Crumble puts the Indians ahead by 23. Trojans will get it over for Skinner. Long 3 left wing good. Trojans just love keeping it right around 20. Here's Smith. Over to McCoo in the corner. McCoo gonna take it, looking for someone to pass to. Cross court for Hollins. Hollins, 3 ball. Got it! Bounced around the rim and then fell in the net. And the Indians are up 44-21. 5:14 to go, quarter 3. Foul called on the Trojans. On offense, it'll be on Alex Kennedy. And up the floor, here come the Indians now as Corey Harris just going to try and take it all the way, but he lost the handle trying to go in for the floater. And it goes to the mountain. No, they say that it was knocked away by the Trojans. I didn't think he touched it, but they say that the Trojans touched it. They'll float it out for Smith out up top. Now to Harris. Corey Harris swings it over to McCoo in the corner, who goes in for the baseline to put one up and in. Jada McCoo keeps the Indians offense flowing. We'll get a timeout taken here by the Trojans. The Indians are ahead 46-21. You're watching the Mascoutah Indians Sports Network.
Do you ever find yourself not wanting to cook tonight? Well, lucky for you, Mascoutah offers so many good food options such as Spuds. Spuds is a locally owned restaurant that serves the biggest and best baked potatoes that you will ever try. They also serve a variety of paninis, salads, soups, and so much more. Spuds is located in downtown Mascoutah, and they are open Monday through Friday from 10:30 to 8 p.m., Saturday 11 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 2. So the next time you're craving a potato, make sure you come down to Spuds.
Out of the timeout, Indians and Trojans. Trojans from right to left move the basketball with 4:42 to play in the third quarter. The Indians ahead 46-21. They look and they throw it away as Shane Bennett wasn't ready for that pass. So it's back to the Indian basketball. And Corey Harris will bring it up the floor. Harris has not seen the bench tonight. Everybody else on the Indians starting lineup has. McCoo to the corner. Swings it back out. Jarrell Crumble looking to go inside. Now Harris swings it over for Smith on the rough side. Smith pulls up to the free throw line. Gets it to Harris. Harris kicks it out for McCoo. Left corner three. No good off the front of the iron. Rebound for Skinner, and Wilburn going to bring it back the other way. Wilburn goes into drive, kicks it back out. Skinner on a head fake three between the circles, pulls it into the backcourt. Now moves to the left side, and he is going to get called. We're going to have an offensive foul on the Darius Hamill. Kyron Trammell will check into the game. .353 to play. Harris going to bring it up right over the Indian logo across the timeline. Hollins back over, swings it. Now over left side for Madison. Fern just into the game for the Indians. Gets it to Smith. Out for Hollins. Hollins, baseline drive. Jump pass over. Now gets it out Fern. Fern going to take it. Jumper, no. Rebound is tipped away. Kept in bounce by Hollins. Nice job there by Smith underneath. Hollins going to get decked going up to the free throw line, and he goes down. He looks to be fine. He'll go to the free throw line here. That's 4 fouls in this third quarter for the Trojans. First free throw for Hollins does not go. Hollins is an 80% free throw shooter, leads the team. Makes his second free throw. So he's now 9 of 11, 9 of 12 from the three-point arc. Or from the free throw line, excuse me. Here's Leonard, here's Jamirian Skinner. Gonna go on a baseball pass for Harris, finds Hollins wide open to the other end of the floor, and he takes it in for 2. Indians ahead 49-21. We'll have a foul down to the other end of the floor. That foul will be against the Indians. I didn't see who it was on. They kick it to the corner. Here's a three that is not going to go for Dallas Gardner. And now Corey Harris throws one away, trying to hit Stephen Hollins. Hollins is trying to lead Stephen Hollins a bit, and Hollins missed the mark. Indians ahead by 28, 2:45 to go. Here's a three from the left wing by Skinner. Harris gets the rebound, goes back up, gets it to McCoo. McCoo will draw the foul, trying to go up for the layup. 2:36 to play. McCoo to the line, and regardless of the fact that it was a shooting foul or not, he'd be at the line regardless. As that will put the Indians in the bonus for the remainder of the third quarter. First free throw is good. Now remember that if the Indians are leading by 30 at the start of the fourth quarter, we will have a running clock. Fast-paced game, not only 3 timeouts taken in the game. And that's going to be the 30-point lead for the Indians. Both free throws are good. Only 3 timeouts in the game, and it's been it in terms of stoppages of the clock. So not a lot of time taken. Here's a three from Skinner. No go. Back of the iron. Ball is tipped up, kept alive by the Indians. We're going to have a foul against the Indians. That's on Crumble. (51-21). They kick this one out, and now that is Skinner. Skinner back, looking, trying to find somewhere to go. Finds Gardner between the circles. Here's Brown. And Brown, we're going to have a turnover. I believe they said he carried there. Up the floor come the Indians. 1:55 to go. Harris into the lane, looks underneath for McCoo. McCoo goes up, doesn't get it, but he tips it back to Smith, gets it to Harris. Harris jumper, got it. And the Indians add more. Kick it over to Skinner. Skinner back behind the circles. Now looks back to the corner, and we get a whistle. And they're going to say that the ball goes back to the Indians. Corey Harris going to move it up the floor. McCoo gets it out. Matthew Smith over to Harris. Harris moves, now looks for Smith. Lost it trying to go up for two. Back down the floor, Gardner gonna go coast to coast and bring it in. Baseball pass coming out of bounds. McCoo over to Mattis Fern. Fern gonna go to Smith. Smith gonna go for three, doesn't go. It's tipped and it's grabbed by Kyron Trimmel. Coming the other way, here come the Trojans. Skinner floats one, not gonna go. Rebound belongs to Harris. The Indians have the lead, 30 points. McCoo gonna get it off from Harris, puts it in, it's good. 32-point lead for the Indians, 33 seconds to go in the third. Looking at a potential running clock here to start the fourth. Skinner, thrower, doesn't go. It rolled around and fell down and fell out. Fern kicks it. McCoo will just bring it back out into the backcourt, throws it over to Crumble. And the Indians, it looks like, are just going to, no, now Crumble going to try and lay one in, and he does. 57-23, a half quarter not going to go to end the third. And that takes us to the fourth. Most likely going to have a running clock as we go to the fourth quarter. But we have a minute before that. We'll step aside. We'll have the fourth quarter next. The Indians with a big lead.
From the auditorium, where we show the passion and hard work of our students, to the classrooms, where our faculty dedicate themselves to shaping the next generation of scientists and engineers. From the weight room, where we inspire our students to be a better version of themselves, to the courts and fields where history is made and memories are saved. From representing our school to just being a part of the community, we are Mascoutah, the high school of choice.
Final quarter getting ready to go is the Indians and the Trojans from Madison. Look to finish this one. Trojans will get the ball to start the fourth quarter. And they will do so with the Indians ahead 57 to 23. 10 seconds in, foul is called, and like I said, the running clock is in effect. Foul was called on Kyron Trammell. Matthew Smith has it. Hollins keeps it, now throws it over for Harris. McCoo gonna give it over to Hollins. Hollins on the baseline, throws that one up and in. So the Indians aren't afraid to keep putting points on the board. I think they've probably been told don't shoot threes. They've had several open looks and haven't taken one. Down the baseline come the Trojans, out for Brown. Brown over to Skinner. Skinner gets off the screen, throws up a floater and finds the net. Hollins down the floor, gets it to Smith. Smith goes up and puts that one in. 61 to 25. This game just keeps on going, still playing here. And the Indians with this win will be their 10th of the year. They'll get their second home win in what has only been their third home game. 3-ball miss. McCoo gonna go coast to coast, and it's knocked out of bounds by Demarion Brown, and the Indians are gonna go full house here with the subs. We have Caden Fern, Mattis Fern, Ambrose Bentley, Carlo Garcia, and TJ Perkins. Ambrose Bentley swings it over to Carlo Garcia. Garcia swings it over. Mattis Fern, Caden Fern, excuse me. Missed that one. Now kicks it over. Here's Skinner for three, and he connects. Mattis Fern going to bring it up the floor for the Indians. Over to Perkins. Perkins looks to drive, kicks it to the corner for Carlo Garcia, gives it over to Caden Fern. 3-ball, airball. Ball comes back out. They'll throw it ahead for Skinner. Skinner separation and then lost it. Stolen away by Bentley, and then his pass got lost. 3-pointer here for Williams. That one doesn't go. Mattis Fern gets a rebound. 5:10 to play in the fourth. Clock running. Mattis Fern gets separation through the paint and finds the basket for a layup. 35-point lead for the Indians, 63 to 28. Brown over to Wilburn. Or excuse me, that's Dallas Gardner who hits a three. 63-31. Down the floor, Garcia trying to get in, lost it. Now comes Holland. Now comes Dallas Gardner. And the lead is down to 30. Who gets one up and in off the glass. Mattis Fern spins through the lane. Fern will throw one up and doing some spin work through the paint. Able to get one up and in and connect the lead. 3-ball not going to go for Gardner on the other end. One and done, and the ball stripped away by Skinner. So the Trojans get it back. Skinner with another three, and he connects there. 65-36. The lead is back to under 30. Fern will just throw this jumper up, and Madison Fern is up to 6 points on the night. One and done there for Skinner as he misses the three for the Trojans. And the Indians with 3:35 to play. Three ball here for Fern, doesn't go. Rebound for Garcia, floats one back up. The basket is good, he drew a foul. And so Carlo Garcia gonna go to the line for one. And now we're gonna get Bryce Thompson into the game. Bryce Thompson and Michael King, the freshman. That one doesn't go, and it goes out of bounds after the missed free throw. It went off of Garcia. Skinner gonna come up the floor, 2:43 to go, 69-36. Indians lead. Skinner through the paint, pulls it back out beyond the three-point line, kicks it up top for Terrian Wilburn, drives into the lane, he'll draw a foul. TJ Perkins gonna come into the game, he'll replace Ambrose Bentley. Mentioned again the running clock, so with 2:10 to go and counting, the Kylan James will go into the game for the Trojans. 2 minutes to go in running clock. Jarrett Mosby as well into the game for the Trojans. Dallas Gardner dishes this one over. Wilburn looks low for Brown. Brown back out for Wilburn. Indians again, 10th win of the year. Second home win. That'll be an and one for Terrian Wilburn. Free throw not going to go. Foul, I believe, was on Michael King. Here's Garcia for the Indians. Into the paint he goes up, and the reverse is good. Garcia puts the Indians over 70 points. 71-38. Through the lane and putting one in is Demarion Brown, so some points there for the Indians. Ambrose Bentley back into the game to replace Carlo Garcia. Running clock still running. It's not going to stop at a 31-point lead, so 37 seconds. Coming up the floor, Bryce Thompson. Thompson scrambling for it. Ball gets thrown out. Back come the Trojans. Wilburn. Over to Chris Riggins, who misses on the three. Bentley got the rebound, and Bentley will give it over to Bryce Thompson, and Thompson's going to dribble this thing out. And that'll do it. So the Indians come home after the holiday break, their third home game of the year, and they come in and they pick up a convincing 71-40 victory tonight. Big one for the Indians. They put up 71 points. They pick up their 10th win of the year. They move to 10-5, and they will be on the road in Highland on Friday night. It'll be an MVC Mega Night. Thank you for joining us tonight. Final score once again, the Indians 71, the Trojans 40. Owen Dressler, and with that, Owen Dressler saying good evening from Mascoutah.